My husband begged me not to get a massage like the one he got with another woman. I just stayed quiet. A year later, he saw me leaving a luxury spa. The look of shock on his face when my handsome male therapist walked out and kissed me was priceless. This last year's been rough. That's the only word for it. It feels less like a marriage and more like we're just roommates co-signing on a mortgage. The last time we were intimate was back in May. Since then, it's been a cycle of him getting angry over small things, me getting emotional and crying, and then weeks of silence that's so loud it's deafening. We just move around each other in the house. Two ghosts who barely make eye contact. He travels a lot for work. And honestly, sometimes it's a relief. The silence is less heavy when I'm the only one in it. But the other night, something felt different. It was almost 3 a.m. and I was just staring at the ceiling, my heart pounding for no reason. He was sound asleep next to me, breathing deeply, completely oblivious. And this feeling washed over me. It wasn't just sadness or loneliness. It was a gut-wrenching, primal alarm bell telling me something was deeply, fundamentally wrong. His phone was on the nightstand. Screen dark. I've never been that person. Ever. The wife who snoops. I always thought that if you get to that point, it's already over. But this feeling was physical. It was a knot in my stomach, a cold sweat on my neck, and it was screaming at me that I was a fool. My hand was shaking as I reached over and picked it up. No password. He always was careless like that. I scrolled through his apps. His photos. Nothing. Then I opened his texts. It all looked normal. Just work chats and stuff from his brother. For a second, I felt a wave of relief mixed with shame. Then I saw it. A folder for recently deleted messages. There was only one thread in there. My whole body went cold. I clicked on it. The messages were from a few weeks ago. During his last work trip. It was him, asking a woman about a massage. Her reply is burned into my brain. She said it would be Nuru. Body to body in Essex. I don't think I was even breathing. The words didn't make sense. But they were ugly. They felt wrong. I stood up, walked to his side of the bed, and nudged him awake. When his eyes finally focused, I just held the phone in front of his face. I didn't have to say a word. I saw the recognition. Then the panic. Then the denial form on his face before he even spoke. He immediately started swearing on his life. On our life. That he didn't have sex with her. He said it was just a massage and that she just gave him a handjob at the end. That's it. I swear. He kept repeating. His voice getting louder. He was giving me a story. A version of the truth designed to be just bad enough to be believable. But not bad enough in his mind to be unforgivable. He was trying to manage the damage. The worst part. I didn't even know what a Nuru massage was. He said it so casually. Like I was the idiot for not knowing. He was already trying to make it my fault. I just stood there, holding his phone, with his lies hanging in the air between us. Am I crazy? Reddit. Is it possible that's all it was? It just feels like there's so much more he's not telling me. After his confession, I just walked out of the bedroom. The argument, if you can call it that, just died. He stayed in bed, probably relieved he'd put out the fire with his half-truth. I was left standing in the hallway at 3 a.m. with this word echoing in my head. Nuru. Had said it with such a dismissive tone. Most people know what that is. Had mumbled. As if I were some sheltered kid who didn't understand how the world worked. It was designed to make me feel small. And it worked. I went downstairs and sat on the couch in the dark. The laptop cold on my lap. My brain was stuck. I had his version of the story. A transactional, almost clinical act. A handjob. It was awful. A betrayal. But it was a version I could almost wrap my head around. But that word, Nuru, felt different. It didn't sound clinical. It sounded like the key to the part of the story he was deliberately leaving out. A part of me knew I should just leave it alone. I knew that whatever I found would hurt more. But the not knowing felt like a different kind of torture. Like a splinter under my skin I just had to get out. My fingers trembled as I typed it into the search bar. What is a Nuru message? I clicked enter. The first few results were dictionary definitions and articles. I read the words. And the room started to spin. A form of massage originating in Japan characterized by the use of a special, slippery, odorless gel the masseuse uses their entire body, which is also naked, to massage the client. The text message from his phone flashed in my mind. Body to body. It wasn't a euphemism. It was a literal description. This wasn't about a happy ending. This was about the entire experience. I kept scrolling. My curiosity now a morbid, self-destructive need. I saw diagrams. I saw articles describing the goal as creating an unparalleled level of skin-on-skin intimacy. It was about one naked body sliding, rubbing, and pressing against another for an hour. That's when the first wave of pain, the one from seeing the texts, felt like a paper cut compared to this. This was a gut wound. The initial shock was about him seeking out sex. This new, deeper horror was about the intimacy he sought with a stranger. The very thing that had been missing from our marriage for a year. He went and bought it from someone else. He didn't just pay for an orgasm. He paid for the sensation of a woman's entire naked body against his. And that's when the images started. They weren't blurry or abstract. They were crystal clear. A high-definition movie playing in my head. Her, naked and covered in that gel, on top of him. Her legs tangled with his. Her chest pressing against his back. And the worst part of the image. His face. The look of pleasure he must have had. The look I hadn't seen in so long. It broke me. It shattered me into a million tiny pieces. Right there on the couch in the dark. The lie wasn't that he had sex. The lie was that it was just a massage. How do you even come back from this? It's not just the act itself. It's these pictures in my head. They pop up when I'm driving. When I'm at the grocery store. When I look at him. I can't turn them off. Has anyone else gone through this? How do you get the movie to stop playing? The days after my Google search were a special kind of hell. We were back to the silence. But it was different. It was heavier. Filled with the things I now knew. The mental movies were on a constant loop. Each one more graphic than the last. Every time I looked at him, I didn't see my husband. I saw a stranger. Naked on a table. With another woman's body sliding over him. It was making me physically sick. He was trying to act normal. Asking me about my day. But his words felt like they were coming from a million miles away. He still thought he'd gotten away with the sanitized version of his story. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. We were in the kitchen. And he was making coffee. His back to me. The silence was suffocating. I needed to know if he understood. Even a little bit. What he had done. My voice was quiet. Almost flat. When I spoke. You know, I said. If it was just a massage. Maybe I should get one. It must be nice to be touched like that by somebody else. The clatter of his spoon hitting the counter was the loudest sound in the house. He froze. When he turned around. His face was pale. The smug, dismissive look was gone. Replaced by pure, unadulterated panic. Don't say that. He whispered. It was wrong. Okay. It wasn't just a massage. And just like that, the truth was out. Not because he felt guilty, but because he was terrified. The thought of me doing the same thing to him was the only thing that could make him drop the act. He took a step towards me. His eyes wide. You wouldn't really do that. Would you? That's when he broke. His face just crumpled. He started crying. Not quiet tears. But these horrible, ragged sobs that shook his whole body. He sank into a kitchen chair and put his head in his hands. Repeating over and over how sorry he was. How he felt so bad for hurting me. He looked up at me. His face streaked with tears. And swore he'd never do it again. I promise. He choked out. Vithuad as my witness. It will never happen again. I stood there and watched this whole performance. And I admit. Part of me knows I wasn't meeting his physical needs. I know that. We were both at fault for the distance between us. But why was this his solution? Why couldn't he have talked to me? Tried to fix things with me? Instead of paying a stranger to touch him in the most intimate way imaginable. His apology felt so hollow. He's sorry he hurt me. But he's terrified I'll hurt him back. He's promising never again. But he already swore on his life that it was something else entirely. His words mean nothing now. The trust isn't just broken. It's been vaporized. There's nothing left. It's gone forever. And I still can't stop picturing it. The promise doesn't erase the images. So I'm stuck here. He's promising to change. But how do you rebuild a marriage on a foundation of ash? He's lost my trust completely. And I can't stop picturing that massage. It's killing me. I just needed to tell someone. This whole thing is eating me alive.